I'm now putting on my shoes because I need to go buy some distilled water for my carnivorous plants. This is the third update for February. I have here in my hand a lot of change that I've been saving up from tip money to get some water for my carnivorous plants. You see, my carnivorous plants are all the way over here, close to the window. That's one set of carnivorous plants, and I have my Sarracenia over there. A lot of leaves look pretty bad on my Sarracenia, but that's just because they're coming out of hibernation right now. So here I am outside walking towards the supermarket, and like I said, I need to buy distilled water for my carnivorous plants. But I want to talk to you about my February goal, which was to get my license. At this point, I am already past the halfway mark for completing my goal. I've taken 3 actual driving lessons, the 5-hour class, and here's a good update. I already signed up to take the driving test, and I'm going to take that March 11th. So on March 12th, I would say either yes, I have my driving license, or no, I don't. Here we are at the supermarket, and there's a lot of types of water in here. We have Deer Park, Pocono Springs over here, but I'm looking for this pure steam distilled. This is the distilled water I use for my carnivorous plants. So I'm just gonna buy it now, and I'll probably see you at home. Bye. That's one. I have 2 driving classes left to complete my driving instruction. I'll have to play by ear. I'll have to say to myself, am I ready yet? Or can I get more experience by driving mom's car instead of going to driving school? So that's the first thing. So I don't talk about books much on this channel, but I do speak about books in my blogger account. And I just finished reading the book Firestarter by Stephen King, and I'm starting up the Bachman books. Bachman, that's Stephen King's pseudonym. So these are all written by Stephen King, and the first book I'm reading now is Rage. And I read books on the way to work, on the way back from work. So on my blogger account, pretty soon, perhaps sometime this week, I'm going to write a review about Firestarter by Stephen King. As some of you might know, when I went down to Florida, I brought up some of my video game stuff and some of my books that I had down there. And unfortunately, my Sega Saturn was broken. I was trying to find a new one. I went to some retro game stores down in Manhattan, but unfortunately all the Saturns were between 75 and 95 bucks. Way too much for me. So what I ended up doing was going on Craigslist, checking Craigslist every day to see if there was a Saturn I could buy. And you know what, there was. This guy was selling a Sega Saturn with an arcade fighting stick with Fighters Mega Mix, all for 40 bucks. And not only was there an arcade stick, but there was a 2nd generation controller included as well, which is very cool. So here's the Sega Saturn that I got from online. It works. The cover works perfectly. I tested it out. I actually spent a few hours playing it the first day I got it. And here's the fighting stick for the Sega Saturn that came with the system that was sold to me. I'm actually now like more of a believer in Craigslist than I ever was before. This stuff is pretty awesome. And for me to be able to find somebody over the internet that's selling something that I want in my area that I could travel to, it's just a awesome thing. And I'm actually looking to integrate Craigslist more into this whole project thing that I'm doing more in the future. Many of you may know that last week I actually went to the Manhattan Orchid Society and became a member of the Orchid Society. Last week I also mentioned the Orchid Show, the Deep Cut Orchid Show in New Jersey, and I said I was looking for a way to go. Well, I found a way to go. My mother decided to drive me, and it was pretty cool. I ended up buying this cool Catalea hybrid. It's a RLC Toshie Yoki Pizzazz, that's the name. I bought this orchid for 35 bucks plus tax. It's really good, strong orchid. The leaves have beautiful colors. It's just a beautiful plant, and hopefully it does well here. So now I have a few last things to mention before I go. I'm actually moving on March 1st. I'll be moving. So I'm actually putting stuff in boxes, as you can see. This is just a lot of video games and books that I've thrown in this box. See, book, A Natural History Club, the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, so March is going to be a very busy month. but next week I'll explain to you my March calendar. As of now, all you know is that March 11 is the driving exam, and March 5th is the start of the New York Botanical Gardens Orchid Show. Down below I'm going to post some cool links to my daily booth and Tumblr account. The daily booth, I mainly use that to take pictures of cool stuff that's going on, and Tumblr I use it to take pictures of all my plant things. So you can subscribe if you want. And again, if you have any recommendations for things to further this project, just put it down in the comment section below. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you.